and welcome to Simply Made Homestead. Well, we are going to begin our journey. Please forgive the cars, guys. My mics, I didn't get them charged. But we are going to begin our journey today of learning how to make things from goat milk. And the first thing we're going to make is Cajeta. Now, Cajeta is a Mexican caramel. It has a cinnamon flavor to it, and it is absolutely delicious. I put it in my coffee every morning, y'all. It is so good. I just love it. Now, you can put it over ice cream. It's delicious over ice cream. Me and a friend of mine, every now and then when you just want a little something sweet, get a little spoonful right out of the jar. There's nothing wrong with that either. So once a week for 4 weeks, I'm going to be coming to you with a new recipe on how to make things with goat milk. So hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, so that way you won't miss any new videos coming up. Next week we're going to do a goat cheese crumble. Some people call it a farmer's cheese. It just looks like, I call it a crumble. That's what it looks like to me. It makes sense to me. It is absolutely delicious on a cracker, sprinkled over tacos, on a pizza, on a salad. It's good stuff, guys. You make a bowl, stick it in the fridge, and it just, it's just there, and it's yummy and really easy. On week 3, we're going to make a chev, and our favorite, which is the one I'm going to show you, it's rolled in cracked pepper, which I knew my husband would absolutely love the cracked pepper because he loves pepper. And I like pepper. I don't love pepper, okay? But you don't get, it's not what you think. It's just a flavor. It's not this burst of pepper in your mouth. It's the goat cheese, and then it's just this finely ground pepper that is so good. And our favorite way to eat it is we cut it, we slice it off, and we put it on a cracker with a dollop of homemade peach jam. Y'all, it is so good. You just won't believe it. Now, the 4th thing that we are going to make is goat milk soap. I saved this for the 4th for y'all because it was the last for me, because I was scared of it. I was scared of the lye. I thought it's going to be hard. I've got having to learn how to do everything, and do I really want to, undertake this? And I finally bit the bullet. I went for it, and I have fallen in love with it. Now, don't think for 1 minute I haven't had problems, that I haven't had failures. Sometimes I have a beautiful bar of soap, or a very well put together bar of soap, all the yummy luscious oils that are just so good for your skin, plus the goat milk, and the design just didn't turn out. So turn those into samples. There's always a win, guys. I'm going to walk you through it step by step so you can have homemade, all natural goat milk soap for your home too. Now, I have fallen so much in love with the process of making goat milk soap and using it. I'm such a huge believer in it that I have started a business. Now, some of you know that our goat herd, we're Nigerian dwarf dairy goats, they are registered, and when we registered our herd name, we were not able to get Simply Made because, I don't know, I guess it's a very common name. Someone else already had it. We started brainstorming, and Andrew came up with Sweet Nibbles. Well, I love that. I thought it was so cute, and so we named them. We were able to get the name of Sweet Nibbles. So in honor of our beautiful little goats that provide us with that beautiful goat milk, we named our soap company Sweet Nibbles Soap. And you will find us on Etsy. You'll see the link here, and I will provide it in the description box below. Guys, I'm so sorry about the traffic. One of my mics wasn't charged, so anyway, here we are. But we're going to get through this. But you see the link is in the bottom below. If you could go and check it out, guys, I really would appreciate us. Show us some love, give us a little support, and we really do appreciate all of you so much. So before we head into the kitchen, we've got to head outside and get these animals fed, and then I'll meet you in the kitchen, and we'll start making some yummy Cajeta. Guys are going to love it. box, you silly goose. There you go.
So, this one is a culprit.
She was over in the other field. I don't think you have to cut the rest of them.
Yep.
Tongue stuck out. Bina, man, you're a butthead.
Sounds like you're trying to do too much at once.
I'm back. Animals are fed. I've got the sweaty hat hair, but that's okay. And a big glass of water is gonna help bring the body temperature down a little bit. From my Berkey, guys, it's such good water. Delicious, delicious water. If you haven't checked out the Berkey, I'm gonna leave a link for you in the description box below. But it's time to get going. So let's talk about what you're gonna need for the Cajeta. Okay, so the first thing you need a heavy bottom pot. It doesn't have to be an enamel pot. You just need a nice heavy bottom pot. We're cooking with sugar and milk so it can burn easily, okay? We're going to need cinnamon sticks, baking soda, and 1 tablespoon of water, which I use the filtered water from my Berkey, a whisk, and a wooden spoon. These are the things that I use. 1 cup measuring cup. We're going to need our sugar, which we use the cane sugar that we get from Azure Standard. It's natural, and it hasn't gone through all the refinement and all the processes that the regular white sugar goes through. We're going to need a 1/2 gallon of raw goat milk. So I'm going to start by pouring my milk into the pot. Now you'll see like a cream line, and I like to get all that yummy cream out of there. We really don't want to leave that behind. There we go. I'll back this camera up just a little bit, make it a little bit easier to see. All right, I'm going to turn the stove top on medium heat. And I am going to use my spatula right now to start with. And we are going to add, we've got a 1/2 gallon of goat milk, raw goat milk, and 2 cups of sugar. That may sound like a lot of sugar, and it is, but we are making caramel. You have to remember, we are making caramel, and it's yummy, yummy, sweet, and good. And now we are going to just stir and heat this milk up nice and slow. You don't have to stir it constantly, but almost constantly, because you don't want that sugar to stick to the bottom. You want it to incorporate into the milk. And it takes a few minutes for it the milk itself just to kind of get heated up where the sugar starts melting. Now the first part of this process is the only part of this whole recipe where you are really stuck to the stove. To be able to make the Cajeta, it's going to take about 2.5 hours. But this first part, the first 30 minutes, it's very important too, that you stay nice and close to the stove and you really keep a watch on your milk. I can feel the sugar still on the bottom. It hasn't melted yet, so I want to really keep a close eye and make sure that everything, the sugar melts well, that the milk doesn't begin to boil and scald to the bottom of the pot, because that will, guys, I have ruined a batch by trying to do too many things at one time and letting it get away from me. So just stick with it. It's boring. Stir with one hand, play a game on your phone with the other. But while I have my phone in my hand and we're waiting for this Cajeta, which is not actually Cajeta yet, for this milk and sugar to heat up, let's look at the temperature. Remember I told you how hot it is outside? Well, we're in Central Florida, and right now it is 78 degrees out there. The temperature is not bad. This right here, oh, that's not even bad humidity. Oops, messed it up. Anyway, can you see that? We're at 74% right now. So for down here, that's not even that bad. Typically it's more like 90, 95%, but still that higher humidity, it really makes it sweltering out there. All right, now another thing that we need to do is we need to kind of prepare for our next step. So the next step to our process will be adding our baking soda water mixture to the milk. So we have to get it made up. So we're going to use 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not powder, baking soda, to 1 tablespoon of water. And I'm just going to mix that around really well in there. So now we're just going to set it to the side, and it'll be ready when we are. All right, I'm not feeling the gritty sugar on the bottom anymore. So that tells you that the sugar has melted, or has mostly melted. And now you'll be able to tell when it begins to heat up, because it'll start to get some bubbles around the edges, which is what it's trying to do right now. See the little bubbles? And it's getting kind of a foamy look on the top. So you can tell it's beginning to heat up. And then it'll get to where the steam will start coming off of it. You'll have even more bubbles around the edges, and you'll get a little simmering going on down in the pot. That's what we're looking for. But we still want to stir. Give it that every several seconds. Just give it a nice little stir to keep it well mixed and keep things from cooking too quick on the bottom. Looks like we are very close. You see how foamy it is? All the bubbles, and it's really even kind of coming up in the pot a bit. We are right there at it. Where we are about to add our baking soda mixture. See the little simmer? Now, like I said, the first part of this process, guys, it's really important to really follow the steps to be successful. All right, now we've got a nice little bubble going. I'm going to turn it down to low, my temperature. Make sure you do that. I'm going to give it a quick stir, let off some of that heat. You see how it's really coming up just from cooking, from getting really hot. And when we put this in here, it's really going to start coming up. So we don't want it to boil over. Now this spoon right here, you can't let it be a roaring boil and throw that spoon up there and expect it to go down. But do you see how it went down when I put that spoon up there? It really does help if you catch it early enough. So now we're going to add, and I'm just going to kind of pour it over my spatula so I can bring it all around the milk and not just one big lump of it. Oh, see it boiling? See how it came up? Let's hope that spoon works. Sometimes it gets, it got away from me once where it still boiled over a little bit. Not bad, but it did a little bit. But guys, that spoon, I swear, I don't know why it's magic, but it is. If you know, leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to know why it does that. There we go. Look at that. But from what I understand is that the baking soda helps to release the acids in the milk. So you can see I'm really daring with this pot. If you have one that's bigger, leave yourself plenty of headspace. Especially doing it the first time. Get you a nice big pot. It may look like a tiny little amount in the bottom to start with, but you see how it really gets big there. But we want to cook it and let that baking soda really do its justice here, do what it needs to do. And we want to bring it back up to a nice little simmer. And then once we do that, we are going to add our cinnamon sticks, set the timer, give it one last stir, and just let it cook. So it's kind of lost its fizzle, so I'm going to turn it back up just a little bit. But I didn't turn it off, but I turned it all the way down to low. And now I'm taking it right to the first little dot on my control here, but that's what works for me and for my stovetop. So you need to be really careful and experiment with that, okay? Just start out nice and slow. I am not a patient person, and my impatience gets me into trouble more times than not. So if you are an impatient person too, really fight it and take your time with this first part, because here shortly we're going to be able to walk away and go do whatever we want to. Now, don't go out in the yard. I might briefly, but it's like I'm going to come back in pretty quick. Okay, so now I feel safe moving my spoon. You see how it got all the way up to the spoon. All right, so it's starting to simmer a little bit again. Now, if I get, I have gotten these cinnamon sticks from Costco, and they come in the big long sticks in the jar, and I'm out of those, and I ordered these from Azure Standard. I will leave a link in the description box for you for Azure if you want to check them out. They've got a lot of really good stuff, organic, not bad prices either. But with these, they're shorter sticks, so I'm going to throw 3 in. You can throw 2 or 3 in, or if you've got the big long cinnamon sticks, I would use just 1. So the cinnamon sticks are in. It has begun to bubble again. I've got it at just the right setting that works for me, because you want a nice, steady, but slow or soft simmer. You want a soft simmer, okay? So there we go. You see it simmering there? Cinnamon sticks are in. We're going to set the timer for 30 minutes and go do something else. See you soon. All right, the timer just went off. And you can see, the color of it? Already, it's beginning to darken. So all we're going to do is give it a nice stir. Set the alarm, the timer for 30 minutes again. And let it cook. The timer is going off again. An hour has passed. And look at how dark and luscious and lovely that is looking. I like to use my whisk here just to kind of get things off the sides. Scrape things down. Make sure any little, because it gets, cooked faster when it's on the side. Just kind of get it whipped down in there. We're just going to give it another little stir and set the timer for another 30 minutes. Just that simple. So tell me, what are you working on these 30-minute timer session breaks where we get to walk away? What you got going on? Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear. All right, guys, I know this is boring, but I want you to see after every 30 minutes to be able to see the difference. And you can see how it's really darkening up, but it's not dark enough for sure. So it's been an hour and a half so far, but I'm over there looking for insurance. So the time is passing quickly. So we're gonna just give it another stir, so reset the timer again, and see what it looks like in another 30 minutes. We're looking for, it's getting dark, but it's not dark enough to know that it has the thicker caramel-like consistency. And give it another 30 minutes. Stick around. I'm going to show you what you can do to test it, to be able to know if you're at the right consistency. So we'll be able to turn it off, let it cool, and get ready to pour up. So let's get our timer set, and I will see you soon. All right, here we go again. And look how it's, you know how it was that soft center or that soft simmer, but now it's like it's cooking a little harder. And it's just really, it's because it's thickening up. That's why it looks like that, because the consistency of the liquid is getting much more thick. And you see how when I rub the sides off with my spatula, it leaves these little chunks of caramel. That's why I use my whisk to really smooth things out. But be careful, don't splash it up on you, because it's really, really hot, y'all. All right. Now, I suppose you could turn it up a little hotter, and I wouldn't though. I know this has been 2 hours already, and I'm fixing to cook it for another 30 minutes. So, but I had rather take a day when I'm going to be just kind of hanging out, doing other stuff in the house, and I can let this cook and cook it nice and slow where I know I'm going to get a really good caramel, and it's not going to be burnt. I'm not going to ruin a half a gallon of goat milk. This is precious stuff, guys. So we're going to let it go for another 30 minutes, and I do believe we're going to be ready. All right, guys, another 30 minutes has passed. What is that, 2.5 hours? Don't let that scare you. Don't let that keep you from it. Do you see this? Now, I know by looking at this, do you see how thick it is? And how it's bubbling? That is how you know that it is ready. You see that? 220 something degrees. So you know that is super, super hot. So we're gonna turn this off, and then we're gonna let it cool all the way down, or at least until it's just like lukewarm, okay? You want it super cool before you pour it up. Well, we've got a brand new batch of Cajeta. It won't chill my coffee off, and I love my coffee good and hot, so I think we need to have a cup. Oh, look at that, y'all. And yes, don't judge me. I'm putting 2 in. Hey, it's good stuff. Look at that. See how it's coating the spoon? Is that not beautiful or what? I think my coffee was a little weak. Oh my goodness. I know y'all love hearing me slurp, huh? Oh my goodness. And don't forget, hop over to our Etsy shop, Sweet Nibbles Soap, and check it out, and just let me know what you think. Any help you can give us, we sure do appreciate it. And get with your friends and family. If you bundle, if you purchase $35, it's free shipping. So take a look, let me know what you think. Well guys, I really wish I could go sit on the front porch and drink my cup of coffee, which I might try it anyway, even though it's really hot out there. I can always come back in the air conditioning, but it's just nice to sit out on the porch, watch the traffic go by, and have my little cup of coffee. But y'all give it a try. If you have any technical difficulties, don't forget to comment or email me or something to get in touch with me and let me know what your problem is so I can walk you through it, because it really is simple. It's just particular. Okay, it is very particular, and I'm here to help, and I don't mind one bit. I want you to enjoy this Cajeta as much I want you to enjoy this Cajeta as much as I do. All right, don't forget now, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, because next week it's goat cheese crumble.